Welcome everyone to the Aggregators and Brands Show. My name is Hai and my co-host together with Omar. Today we have a
Hi, how you doing?
we have
Hi.
we have a great guest, Aaron Cordovez, very famous in the Amazon world, and he's running his companies. They are acquiring companies, they are providing services. So it's a great honor, great privilege to have you, Aaron. Thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you. It's a great look. I love this topic, acquiring brands, selling brands, and stuff. Like, the thing is, it's such a fantastic opportunity because who knew that I've talked to some people, they're at $15 an hour, they start Amazon, and in a year and a half they'll sell their company for more than $1 million, right? So it's amazing. I love this topic, so we're very happy to talk about it. Yeah.
And I'm a little bit jealous because, like, being a computer engineer, I started like coding and how can I help the sellers? How can I help the sellers? And then I see a few of my customers, like they started like 10K and then they sold it, at few million. Wow, that was nice. Maybe I'm in the wrong industry, but in terms of like, maybe I should be doing some brands too. But
yeah, but
have you tried it?
Actually we did. Before starting Eva, that was more the reseller business, but we reached the $20 million range. So that's that was already like a part of the experience, like how we entered the space. But right now it's really getting crazy. So but
I think
go ahead.
one second. I think it's a really crazy time right now. And not that everyone thinks like right now, yeah, we're going to do this for the next 10 years, we're going to build brands and sell them. At some point, it won't work like this anymore. I think we are now in very special times, exactly like crypto. It's kind of like crypto. We have now these crazy swings here, and this is the same what we have right now. So I think the ones who made it, who sold, it's not entirely their like their work, it's as well a lot of the business, because where have you seen an industry going so crazy? We can look back and we see this pattern repeating himself in a few maybe decades. So right now it's like really golden times. It's a golden nugget time, and everyone who can pick up funds should do it. Anyone who can take some and build a company should do it, because we don't know how long this will last until the new trend starts, And you know what? Your background there reminds me of the polyverse. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's an artist, Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you that I do think anybody should start. Like, if you're not there, you should start. It doesn't take a lot to start. And my first order, okay, and whatever, you guys know, our biggest brand is Zulay Kitchen.
Right.
We've sold over $100 million on Amazon, okay, and
amazing.
The first product was a lemon squeezer, okay, and it was 300 units. It was 300 units at like $3. It was like $1,000 the whole order, maybe a little bit more with shipping. That was my starting cost, and then learning.
That was you, actually. That was you with the lemon squeezer. Where I heard a story. I heard a story where the wife came in the room and she was annoyed because he was squeezing the lemons in the morning.
That's me. Dude. Why did you hear that? I was like, what are you doing? I was like, let me tell. How much does this thing squeeze? And it was like it squeezes like 15% more juice. And I was like, we got a winner. Exactly. This thing is awesome. And she's like, dude, who cares if it's 10%? But I care, because you could maybe use 4 lemons instead of 5 lemons.
And I throw so many lemons away.
Hey, we're saving people money. That's the game. We save people money. We make them happy. It had this video. Oh, I swear, if you look at the Zulay Kitchen, the squeezer, it's like 100 in kitchen right now. And if you go to the videos, there's this one guy. I swear to you, it's the most funny video ever. He's grabbing this thing and he squeezes it, and like the juice. It looks like it's just a waterfall. And he's like, "Look at all that juice!" And he's like laughing, he's having a freaking blast. And it's like, that's the goal. We want to have people excited and happy, and that's the point. Like, if your thing works half as good, who's gonna be excited? It's gonna be the same old one that everyone else uses. So anyway,
sure.
I did that work. We did that work to give that to the customer, right? If we don't do that work, then nobody, nobody knows the difference. Yeah, anyway.
Absolutely. So that's
Definitely.
already like a great story. So, but tell us about yourself a bit, Aaron, because it's a 0 to 100 million story here. I mean, I'm sure everybody's super interested to hear not just the beginning, but how really you scale with that into 100 million. So tell us about that story.
I'll tell you, it's been a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of heartbreak, sweat. I mean, it's been tough. I'll tell you, I believe we were like this, like super close to bankruptcy, at least twice, maybe 3 times. Okay, like because we're taking risks, and I was just at a conference this last weekend at the 10X, and one of the speakers was saying, listen, you get rewarded for taking risks. Okay, this is why insurance companies are rich. The insurance companies realize they have $100 million companies, $1 billion companies. Why? They say, you don't have to take the risk. We're going to take it. Although it's a calculated risk. They know if they insure 1 million people and 1,000, 2,000 of them have their house, they've gone fire and whatever and explodes and this many people die, they still made $200 million, but they're getting paid because they took the risk. Okay. So you have to realize that entrepreneurship by definition is a person who risks time and money, for some outcome. That's the definition. So if you're not taking any risk, you will not be rewarded. So with the upside and with the possibility comes risk and pain and hurt. But if you're smart, you push that aside and you pass that obstacle and you keep going because you have unlimited power. I didn't realize that I could do this, right? I mean, this would have been like, I remember my goal when starting was I want to make $500 a month. If I make $500 a month on this thing, I'm going to be excited. I can pay for like a daycare for, my child who was, just being born, or my baby was like less than 1 when we started the company. And I'm like, well, we can pay for a daycare. That's good. Hey, if I do this a little bit of time, boom. And then we passed that and we kept going. But I didn't think I'm going to do this humongous thing. I just thought, you know what? I want a win. I want to have a little bit of success. I want to have something. And once you get that win and you have that first success, wow, we got a product to #1 bestseller on all Amazon. That wasn't too hard. Let me try another one. Let me try 4. Let me try 10. Let me try 1 every week. 52 in a year. Let me try 5 every week. I mean, every weekday I was doing.
Some going to work.
Going crazy. Some of them are going to work and some of them are not. And that's the risk. I don't have a crystal ball, but I know, hey, what can I do today to see if I can have some success tomorrow? And calculated risk. That's all this is.
Nice. I mean, that's great. So the risk, I like the way that you explained the entrepreneurship. Sometimes I think, if the super smart people are really taking risk, or is the smart people, like my wife thinks that I am not that smart because I'm taking too much risk. Like she's telling me, well, you were the vice president of Oracle. You were making a lot of money. What's the point of switching to the Amazon world, trying to help brands create a company? But what is that really? She's questioning my, ability to think, like, why to take so much risk? But there is some excitement there too, right? I mean, the risk is #1. Like, we got it. I fully agree with you. I see some second thing, which is curiosity. I don't know. I'm so curious about like trying these new things. What else do you see, like, the ingredients of that entrepreneurship?
Well, I will tell you, wives, parents, kids, everybody, there will be people who doubt you, not because they don't love you, because they still love you. I'm going to give you a story. So when I did this, I started with an Amazon course, right? I believe training is an amazing thing. You need to learn. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, you're doing a good thing. Learning from people who know something, okay? That's beautiful. Now, I paid for a course and before Amazon, and I lost a bunch of money. I paid like $3,000 and I made like $100 in sales a month, and it was a disaster. It was like an SEO course. It was a bad course. It was terrible, and I just burned money. And then I want to say 3 months after that, a buddy of mine told me about a course, for selling on Amazon, and it was $5,000. It was Amazing Selling Machine. Okay, that was the only course that existed at the time, and it was great. It was a good intro. And when I went to sign up, my wife, I said, okay, we're doing this. I'm going to do it. It's going to be $5,000. And she's like, okay. She didn't tell me, but she was thinking, why the hell is he doing this again? You know, like why would he pay for another course? He just did this course and it failed, right? People have that. Luckily, my wife was like, she didn't say anything. She's like, fine, if he's gonna lose the money, whatever. At least he's gonna try to achieve his dream. So my wife is absolutely amazing. Later on, I quit my job, 2017. I quit my day job programming because Amazon was selling a lot. We were at 100,000 a month, and I was like, is this real? And it kept going, and I go, I guess I should go full time. So I go full time, and then we had a problem where one shipment was like a bad shipment. Okay, the supplier, and again, the problem was our supplier, and we've learned so much since then. But sometimes the supplier on their second order or third order or fourth order, they'll change to a whole different factory or a different production line. They save 20 cents. They give you a worse product and you don't even know. We weren't doing these heavy inspections, so we didn't catch it. Customers got bad units, so we recalled a bunch of units to the house. And I had my dad. I was like, Dad, can you help me, sort through these lemon squeezers? Because we had like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 lemon squeezers sitting in our freaking office. And like half of them were bad, like you couldn't, when we recalled them. And so he's looking through these lemon squeezers, right? He just found out I quit my job, 6 figures of guaranteed income, okay, programming. And I'm now asking him to look through these lemon squeezers and put the bad lemon squeezers on the side. And he told me this later. He's like, I couldn't believe my son made the stupidest decision of all time. Quit his job to go sell lemon squeezers. Lemon squeezers? Are you kidding me? What the hell is this guy doing? All this genius, all this talent going to waste, flushing it in the toilet. But he's, he was like, what the hell? So, but luckily, again, he thought about this, but didn't say anything. And now, fast forward, we have 1,000+ products, 100 million in sales, as you've mentioned. And like, he's like, oh, I'm so happy that you did this and you quit your job, right? But at the time, you don't always see it, and you have to have your own vision and your own plan of where is it that you're gonna go. Because if you know where you're going and you take steps to get there, you will achieve it. And yes, there's gonna be doubters, and you might doubt yourself. But as long as you're taking the next step, your doubt or reservations and your thoughts don't matter as much as what you do, right? You feel bad, you feel this, people are not. As long as you're taking the steps forward and going toward your dream, it doesn't matter really your feelings. It matters your actions.
Makes a lot of sense. So my understanding is like also like you didn't give up, like you had these hiccups, even like close to bankruptcy or like the calling the products, but you didn't give up. So and also, that's also one of the key things, I guess, to be successful as an entrepreneur, not to give up. I think it was great already. Like obviously the objective of our show is more to talk about the aggregators and the brands and how this works. I'm pretty sure like you're familiar with aggregators, so maybe you tell your perspective, like what are they doing? What do you think they are doing? Is this a good thing or a bad thing for you, your company, as well as for the Amazon ecosystem? Happy to get your thoughts on this.
And maybe you are as well one of them, because you mentioned that you doing some buying as well at the moment.
We love to buy. Here's the thing, before me being on Amazon, even though I was a computer programmer, I was like a huge gamer in high school. I was just like obsessed with video games. I love computers. I love numbers. I love math. I was always the guy raising my hand at math class, like, oh my gosh, I know the answer. And like, me and my buddies were trying to see who was smarter at math. I love numbers, but I'll tell you, until just recently, now that I've been in Amazon, I never understood numbers how I do now in terms of your profit, investing, your return on investment. A lot of these things and how they work was totally like I don't know, a language that I could not understand and did not really know, even though I thought I was pretty smart. So the basic piece of information that you need to understand is money, okay, and loans and banks. The aggregator space does not work without loans, okay? It's the same with real estate, guys. So I'm going to try to do a little lesson on real estate and then how that relates to aggregators and stuff like that. In real estate, a piece of property, you'll buy a property. Let's say it's a $10 million property, okay? It's $10 million. It's a lot of money. It's $10 million, okay? If you were to buy that money, that company cash, okay, you paid it all cash. You're an investor. High is like, I want to buy this property, put $10 million. These types of buildings normally will give you a 3 or 4%, maybe 5%, sometimes even as low as 2% money back if you paid it all cash. Like Imagine 5% on your money. That means you put in $10 million and you're going to get back 500,000. It's 5%. That seems kind of ridiculous. It's like really low. You see, like, damn, I'm putting in $10 million. I'm getting 500,000. What's wrong with this? Now, let me tell you, the banks, okay, the big banks that have unlimited money, they would be extremely happy with 5%. They're like, I love 5%. But you, dude, your hard-earned money, 5% seems really small. So here's where the magic happens, okay? A 5%, by the way, if you were to pay, that you can translate that into a multiple, okay? If you take 500,000 or whatever, 5%, and you do, let's see, 1 divided by, if you do 1 and you divide by 5%, okay, you get 20. That means you're paying 20 times the profit. That's a 20 multiple, okay? On real estate, that's common. You pay 20x. If the thing makes $7, you pay 20x. Imagine your company right now. Amazon, nobody will pay 20x. Nobody, I don't think in the history of time has ever paid 20x. But in real estate, they do it all the time. What is the difference? Okay. In real estate, you don't have to put $10 million into the deal. Okay. You can put in $2 million in the deal. Okay. And it makes 500,000 because the bank will cover that other 8 million. And maybe your loan is 2%. Okay. And I'm not trying to get too deep into the numbers, but like, this is, you need to understand this. If you're going to understand selling companies and this and buying companies, you need to understand this. You as an investor, if you put just 20% cash and the bank takes the other bit and they're charging you less than that 5% that you're getting, you're making more money. Okay. So anyway, your interest rate is 2% and the thing makes 5%. Your cash on cash can be as much as 10%, 15%. Okay. Hopefully I'm not losing people here. I'm sure I'm losing at least half of the people, but as long as your interest rate is less than your percent return on investment on the cash, you get a loan and your cash on cash interest, your cash on cash money goes up. Okay. So why is Amazon buying companies so sexy? And selling is also sexy too, depending on how you're selling and what you're doing. Typically, Amazon companies is sold for 3 times the profit, not 20 times the profit like real estate, 3 times. Okay. So do the math. 1 divided by 3 times multiple, that's a 33% return on your money. Instead of 5% return on your money, you get a 33% return on your money. Are you guys following this like numbers thing?
Absolutely, yeah. Like 30, yeah, sure. Okay.
So if you take the number and you divide it by the multiple, that gives you your percent on your money. If the company generates $333,000 profit per year and you pay $1 million, how much you get back of your money every year? 33%. 333,000, 333,000, you make your money back in 3 years.
Right.
That is an amazing return if it doesn't go down. The problem with some aggregators, if you buy that thing that's doing 333,000, even you get it at 3 times multiple, if you don't know how to defend against your customers, like against your competition, and protect your customers and sell those customers and keep that profit, your profit can go very quickly. And I've seen it from 333,000 to 10,000. I mean, to zero. Like your profit can disappear in a second when you get people undercutting you, suspensions, all different stuff that can happen. You have a chance of going to zero. However, if you know how to protect that business and you keep it making the same profit or more, you get a 33% return on your money, which is ridiculous. And if you get a loan at even 5 or even 10%, which is a ridiculous price for a loan, your return is 33%, your loan is 10%. On that loan money, you're getting an additional 22% on that money. So your cash on cash is even higher. It multiplies. Amazon buying does not make sense cash. Real estate buying does not make sense cash. It makes sense when you use a loan and it's called leverage, then it just compounds and goes crazy. And that's why some people can pay 5x or whatever for a company, because at 5x you're still at 20% return. If you get a 5% loan, that loan money is making 15% money. On day one, you make money. So buying companies is amazing. Selling companies is amazing, because if you sell your company and then you take that cash and you buy it into product, your product return in a year might make 100, 200, 300% return. So if you sell it, okay, you make 333,000 per year. You're not going to take that money. There's taxes. You're not going to take that. If you sell it, you get $1 million. You pay taxes. You get 800,000, and you put 800,000 or even 500,000 into new product. If you do well, you can make 1.5 million that year and then sell it again. So it's a numbers game. The guys, I'm obsessed with numbers, because you pay your bills, you you do your dreams, you take vacation, you pay for your family, you pay for freaking your bills to bring a baby to this world, you pay for everything is with money and numbers. So if you understand these little details, you can make it work. So selling the company makes sense for you. Buying companies makes sense for you. All of it is numbers and this craziness of like your return on your money, the bank money, where you can get loans, investor. It goes crazy. So anyway, I think about the market is if you're smart, you can make it work for you selling or buying.
Right. No, it
makes this is exactly this is exactly what's going on with the Amazon aggregators. You know, they raising money. I still, every time we do this, you know, it's, for me, it seems like they're coming out of nowhere. You know, we talk about billions, you know, they're raising it, they're buying companies with it, they scale them. Obviously they're not, you know, can be that they lose on them, but normally they scale them, they keep them, making money, maybe a few years, or maybe a few months, then they resell it again, maybe another aggregator. I mean, this game is endless, as you already said. And at the speed and at the height of this game at the moment, there is even more cash turning around now. And I think it's very healthy for us all that there's on and on and on like this, you know. The question is how long? How long can we buy all this stuff? How long until the customer satisfied? How long? But, you know, at the same time, we have more and more people going in and buying. So maybe is how we can leverage even more. So we find out, and you do it already really good with the calculation that you're doing, with the progress that you're doing in your product and your company. Now we need to really play in the future to make this numbers game even better. I think the aggregators already figured kind of a way, but as you know, everything is changing. So I think we just have to go with the flow and really understand what will be going on, looking into the future, like Jeff Bezos. You know, he's very good looking into the future. Mark Zuckerberg looking very good in the future. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm seeing at the moment. And I mean, just because Mark Zuckerberg, I just have a quick thing in my mind. He actually, I watched a podcast like a few weeks from ago, and he spoke about the metaverse and eye recognition. I don't know if you ever heard this, and this is for me something amazing, you know. So that's why I'm saying we need to go into the visible future where it's not too crazy, you know. And eye recognition is the most logic and most common thing. What should be actually here within the next months or years, because we want to see who's looking us in the eyes. So it's just an example, you know, just to check what is in the near future. And if we can attain that, the next 10 years are very easy to understand.
That's great. So Omar, by the way, a little bit, maybe you have an internet connection problem. Maybe you can check that one too. In the meantime,
we got 90% of what you said, so it's not a huge deal.
Okay, great.
I'll touch on one thing you mentioned, or like how long can it last?
Right.
The issue, and that's why the people who are buying these companies believe, and I believe, that Amazon will continue to go up. Here's the truth. When real estate, you have to pay 20 times the profit, and Amazon you can pay 3 times the profit. 4 times the profit for a company. Of course, if it's a humongous company, sure, you can get more. But when you're doing that, if you believe that that continues to grow or even doesn't go down, it's an infinite better return than real estate. So in a real estate, the reason why people pay so much is because they know it won't go down. Rents in this country have not gone down since the beginning of time. Rent always goes up. So that's why people pay whatever, they're paying 20x because, hey, one, I can get it back. There's no risk. There's no suspensions. You can just get it. So your confidence in how much it's going up is how much you can buy. So back, you know, as you mentioned earlier, Hi, in the before the call, that some of these guys have slowed down buying. Why? Because they got a little bit crazy. Okay. Thrasio, I think some deals they would pay, let's say 7x or whatever, maybe even 8x. I don't know. I don't know anybody who got an 8x. I do know somebody who's gotten like a 6x. Okay, at the height of this, like when everybody's buying and everybody wants to buy, hardly even doing any due diligence, because they were expecting this is going to go, Amazon's going to go. What they didn't expect, I've destroyed Thrasio in a couple of markets, okay, where they'll buy a company, they'll try to do something, and we just come in and just they go to the side. Okay, I'm sorry, I've helped them crash because we take market share from them. Okay, now the problem is if you buy an asset, you're paying 7x, you're paying 6x, whatever, 5x, 4x, whatever you're paying, and that profit goes down by half. You're in trouble now because you have inventory costs, you have taxes, you have your employees to run the company. Sometimes they'll add people and pay more than the company was paying before, and you're in trouble. If you know and you have a skill, and which is why I buy and we're buying companies. Anyway, if people want to buy, by the way, find me on LinkedIn, Aaron Cordovez. LinkedIn, just send me a message. We've actually, like right now, we're probably going to close on a deal that reached out through me through LinkedIn, and we're going to pay a good price for that. We love working with brands. We love buying brands. Okay, so that was a little pitch there. Thank you guys. Okay, so the deal is, the reason I like to buy it is because I'm confident. Look, if we can do we can get a brand that sells many millions, and you're looking at a company that's selling $1 million or 2 million, 5 million, whatever, and it's like, we know we can grow it. So we're happy to buy and take on that risk. Where these aggregators have slowed down is where they paid and then it went down. And if it goes down in 2 or 3 years by a lot, they'll never get their money back ever. And they're putting money and effort into it. So that's where it goes down. So as long as the person that's buying it knows how to make it not crash, then this can go on forever. Okay, it will continue to go on. And if let's say Amazon is established for another 10 years and there's still nobody taking it out, and they're stronger and stronger and stronger, like you're doing, Prime memberships go up and up and up. In a few years, it might be stronger even and more interest in these Amazon companies, because the stability factor is what lets people pay more. If the banks could buy brands at 10x, guys, 10x, 20x multiple, and they knew it wouldn't go down, the banks themselves would buy it. The problem is they don't know how to manage it, and it will go down. If a bank bought it, it's going to go to zero very fast, okay? So that's why there's like these people who get paid, Thrasio gets paid because they're taking the risk. They're saying, I'm putting my company, I'm signing this loan, and the bank says, good, if you don't do the thing, I take your company, right? So the guy's, again, taking the risk and saying, I will pay back this money I'm borrowing. The bank is confident because these guys have, some of them are billionaires or 100 millionaires. They can even pay it back maybe personally. Like, the banks are not worried about loaning 7% money, 6% money, 8% money. But the guys who make the real money are, let's say, the Thrasio. If they grow the companies, they'll make a lot more than 8%. They'll make a ton of money. And so again, you're getting rewarded for taking risks. And the people buying are taking risk, and the person selling has no more risk. If you sell, you take all that money, you have no more risk of suspensions. You have no more risk of competitors coming in. You have no more risk of someone putting a lower price than you. You're done. You have the cash. Now you can put it if you want. Again, you want to take less risk and still get paid. You cash out $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever, even whatever, 600,000. We bought a company at 600,000. So if you take that money and you put it in a real estate, you've now bring your risk down to zero. And you know what? With a $3 million piece of real estate, you can actually make some decent money. If you sell your company for 5 million, 2 million, 3 million, and you put that money in real estate, you probably will cover all of your expenses. Okay. So your risk is going to zero. Now, when your risk is zero, now you can do the whole thing you did before and do it again and build a new brand, right? The point is, if you sell and you use that money smart, you're going to win, because you will not see that money. The money that you sell today, you make 200,000 a year. Dude, there is nobody that makes 200,000 profit in a year that's putting in their pocket 200,000. When we were making 200,000, we were putting money in the company, right? When you make a lot of money in inventory, you're increasing inventory, you have taxes, you have obligations, you do not take home the money you think you take home, or that your tax return says. You take home a tiny fraction of that, okay? So when you sell, you actually get money for the first time, probably. Then you can use that money to either launch a new brand even harder, or do some real estate, either low risk or high risk. One is going to return more money if you succeed, but one could also mean that you lose. So again, it's a game of risk and reward.
It's a game of risk and reward. That's
great
good
advice.
stuff.
Really.
Let's talk about a bit numbers. So as Omar said, $13 billion is raised so far. That's what we think it is raised. I think roughly 700 brands are acquired by aggregators, not there are others, because there's a lot of acquisitions.
Have been, or is that yearly, or is that total, or is that monthly? What is that?
It's like total in the last 2 years,
700 brands.
700 brands. Maybe it's not too much.
It's probably more. It's probably more because I think we bought like 5 of them, and we're a tiny player. So like,
yeah,
I think it's a lot more than 700 probably.
Let's.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know where's that figure from.
I don't have the numbers. I don't have the numbers.
It's kind of
I'm
like
not sure about it.
my understanding is like Trust.io already acquired 400 brands. I think it's kind of a definite figure, 400 by Trust.io, and the rest are, although they create a lot of noise, every aggregator that I know has between 20 to 40 brands, the ones that are creating a lot of noise. And in the last 6 months, the acquisitions really slowed down. Now, that's an interesting part, right? Because I don't think a lot of the acquisitions, they crash the business, but there is like the profits decline. And I think, this number game, like there is also some money for acquiring and getting more people into the company, and then some money for operating it. But operation versus acquisition money, I'm not sure how transparently like allocated into the buckets. And I mean, primarily the problem is the profit. Like the profits are not really 30%. I mean, the profits are closer
30%. Gee, that's a dream company. 30%.
So the profits are like between 15 to 20%. I think like to be on the right side. So, but my feeling is like there is the slowdown problem is related to the profitability. So number one. Number two, what we are seeing as a trend now is like what Trust.io is calling themselves, like last year, the FBA, Amazon FBA acquirer, right? It was all about Amazon FBA. Right now, first trend change happened like 6-7 months ago. It was like 70% Amazon, 30% Shopify. So we want D2C as well. I mean, pretty much all of them started
moving into Shopify a bit.
If you have 20% D2C, that's great. Like we'll be more happy to have a 20% D2C portion. And now the trend is even moving to another direction, which is like, we are a CPG first company, like Trust.io. Like, I'm going to buy CPG brands or buy a vertical brand. So how do you see that waves coming with these guys?
I think that, and I've talked to some of these guys, I just talked to them. It's always good to get, if you go to some conference and you learn something from them and talking to them, and I'll tell you there is none of them. And this, I think, has to do with reputation. No one is going to say our focus is acquiring and we're the best acquirers, right? It's weird. It's like, huh? Everybody wants to say to their investors, to everybody, we are operator first. We are brand first. Every single person is acquiring is going to say we're operator first. But it's kind of weird because operator first, does that mean you started a company from zero? There are a few that have, the person who started acquiring started with an Amazon company, but those are maybe out of like 50, there's like 4 of those. That's, operator first. They're taking a company from 0 to 8 million, and then they started acquiring brands. They built it from 0. That's what I would call operator first, because they came first. Most of these are actually acquirers first, because you know what? They went to the banks, they show the deck, they say we can buy at 3 times multiple. I remember Thrasio back in 2016 or 2017, I went to an Amazon conference, and it's before this aggregator was a name. And Thrasio, we were like, hey, okay, what would you, pay for our company? And they're like, well, we want, and they gave us these criteria. We met all the criteria. We said, okay, so how much would you pay? And they said, for yours, because it's really good, we're going to pay you 1 times multiple. 1 times. Again, this wasn't a space. And I know they acquired brands at 1 times multiple. Okay. That's like a steal. That's that's like robbery. Like 1 times is like, it's just sad. But people who probably sold that, maybe thought they were going to be suspended next month. They were cheating. So whatever. But their investment, when they started, they said, we're going to buy companies at 1x. We're going to buy companies at 2x. And at that point, you can be a terrible operator and be okay. And that's how it started. But once people started seeing money, then they want, it get higher and higher. And you cannot be an acquirer first and buy companies at 4, 5, 6 times multiple. Because if you crash it, you're dead. If you buy it at 1 times multiple and you brought it in half, you're still like rolling in the dough. You're like dancing in money. You're swimming in the cash like Scrooge, right? Like you can swim in that cash. Donald Duck, whoever did that thing. So the point is everybody wants to say they're operator first because nobody wants their brand to crash afterwards. The investors don't want the profits to disappear. The company doesn't want to say, well, you know, we bought a company that crashed by 50%. Nobody wants to say that, but it happens. Every single day, companies are being acquired that are going to go down after they're acquired, right? And that is, I think, pretty normal because I'll tell you what, there's an advantage in being a small guy to some degree. When I started this lemon squeezer deal, you know how many times I changed that main image of the lemon squeeze? Like 17 times the main image. I'm like watching that go up, change the other images, do this keyword. That was my life. When you have 15,000 SKUs, like some of these guys, do you think they have 15,000 employees and everybody has one SKU that they're giving love to? Absolutely not. They'll have 200 people, 300 people, 15,000 SKUs. Like it's a freaking mess. So there is some advantage to putting that work and love into your brand. So you do that work, and when it goes over, they don't have the same, they haven't built all those staff. Not all those people have started from zero. In our company, people have been around since it was 4 SKUs, right? I mean, when it was 1 SKU, we didn't have any. Actually, we hired one person when it was probably just 1 SKU. Okay, in Venezuela. I'm from Venezuela. We have a team in Venezuela. Anyway, so if they're growing and they're understanding the pains of 1 SKU, 10 SKUs, this, and as you grow, people are learning with you. When you acquire 100 brands in a year, these guys have no idea what to expect, how the suspensions happen, how the used as new happens, how your advertising prices go up, what happens when a new competitor comes into the space. Like all these problems, they're not used to it and they haven't learned it. So they like to say, everybody says operator first, operator first, operator first, but probably 80 to 90% are acquisitions first. That is their business model, acquiring and not letting it go down. That's not operator first. If it was an operator first company, they'd be building brands from zero, right? That's called operator first. We're operator first because all of our business started from zero and we've acquired some brands. Guess what? The brands that we've acquired, that revenue is much smaller than our operations. We would say we're actually operator first because that's how we made all our money, not from acquisitions.
No, but I confirm exactly what you're saying, and it's true. You know, because when you build something from scratch like you did, you know, there have been key employees from the beginning, so they know the business and they grow with it, you know. And this is exactly what we always try to make understand out there. The aggregators, for example, they should not hire, for example, one key person and then and then this key person hires a whole team. Because first of all, even if he's an Amazon employee, he has no clue about the brand, about how the company works, about the structure. And then he hires a complete clueless team who I mean, let's say not clueless. Let's say they are not into material, and until they pick everything up, it might be too late already. So they have to, because big companies are running are a lot heavier than smaller companies. So for example, hiring in that fact agencies would be a lot smarter move, because they have the structure already there. They built the brands already, and they might even know some of these brands, because as you already said, if we talk about 700 brands, there is 100% some of the agencies who know the brands which have been acquired and should go with brands together to help
there is a sandstorm
to build it up. So it was one. It was cut again, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, we are not able to. But
okay.
Got your point, though. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. The point is, yes, a lot of the people that are growing, they're not going to know all this stuff. And I will tell you, there is a small set of people and acquirers that started acquiring before it became a thing, where they bought their first company in 2015, then another company or two in 2016. And then they slowly did it. And some of these guys I've seen have had a lot more success because they are able to train the team and go little by little, you know, growing too fast. Do I believe there's such a thing as growing too fast? It's a funny thing, because if you were ultimately smart and a total genius, you could make it grow all super fast, like Bezos or freaking Elon Musk. That was too fast, but it wasn't too fast because it was somehow organized right and it worked. But for a lot of people, they're not as genius and as organized as them. And if you go, if you get 100 brands, you could potentially be growing too fast. I don't think it's too fast. I think it's growing without the preparation, without proper preparation. I think there's such a thing as growing faster than you're prepared for. But yes, growing too fast doesn't exist, because look at Amazon, 20 years, biggest company on the planet, right? Like Tesla, like from zero to whatever. Like, I don't think there's such a thing as growing too fast. I think there's growing and not being prepared for it.
Got it. So, I think it was great information about the way this like operator first, the difference between the acquisition first versus the operator first. And
we touched a lot of good points here, really.
Great points. What about the brand? So what's your kind of like advices to the brands? One of the things, for example, do you really believe it's still possible, like a couple of years back, like get a $10,000 and start your business right away on Amazon? Or it's now getting harder and you need more money or more support? Or that's one thing that I'm really wondering. And then for the brands doing more than $1 million a year, what should they do? Like, what should be their strategy to scale, or they should sell it?
Yeah, great questions. Great questions. So first of all, should people sell? Look, I think it's always a good idea to find out what you can get, because I've heard stories, and I think, okay, there's a book recommendation. I'd probably recommend this on another podcast, but if anything you get out of this, read the book called Psychology of Money by a guy named Morgan Housel. This book is amazing. But look, he talks about risk and luck. Okay. Risk and luck are very, very, they're cousins. Okay. They're close to each other, because you could do something. If you believe in luck, you believe you can get lucky. Okay. Yes, I believe good luck comes to those people who are working hard and get prepared for luck, right? You're not going to get lucky sitting at home watching Netflix 12 hours a day. You will probably not going to get lucky. Okay. It's not going to happen. But if you prepare yourself, you could get good luck. If you believe in good luck, I feel like I've been extremely lucky, super lucky. Have I worked hard? Yes. Have I put myself in the position for stuff? Yes. Did I take risks where other ones didn't? Yes. But did I get lucky? Absolutely. Now, if you believe in luck, you have to also believe in its cousin, which is risk, because you could potentially get account suspended. I know right now there's a wave of suspensions happening where there's these rebate sites, and your competitors are going to offer your product on that rebate site. It's fraud. I've had it happen to me where somebody made a Zulay page of Facebook and actually
that's so bad.
Gave stuff. And people were writing to us like, where's the rebate? I'm like, we're not doing rebates. Like, we haven't done rebates since like way back when it was like okay to do rebates, right? Like it's years since we've done a single rebate. And people were asking like, where's the rebate? What the hell's happening? And I found that I did a search and I found someone made a page and was offering rebates, running ads, and I'm sure sending it to Amazon. I was like, what the hell? And we reported it to Facebook, and it's like, there is such a thing as framing. You could get suspended. And I know brands that I've managed that ASIN, a competitor, a Chinese or not Chinese or whatever, could be US, could be UK, I don't know, but they're getting your product and listing it on a rebate site, putting it, and then sending it to Amazon saying, look, it's there, getting a rebate. Accounts getting suspended. There's a seller who's had hundreds of thousands of revenue per month deleted like last week. Okay. It's in there's a great group it's called ASGTG by Ed Rosenberg. Great Facebook group. There's a huge thread in there right now. People are getting suspended left, right, and center. These guys did nothing, and your account got suspended. So the point is, this shit can happen. People have I know somebody who had a recall and lost like $3 million on a recall because they didn't have recall insurance, product liability insurance. Shit can go down fast. So when you sell, you're putting that risk off the table. All right. That is one of the benefits of selling. So should you sell? Listen, you have to see how old you are. What is your goal in your life? Okay. Like my goal, I don't want to just make money to buy a yacht. That's not my goal. My goal is to make a ton of money, to give back, to change the society, to change the amount of people who want to work, to set a good example of a good family where everybody's working, where people, there was this conference, there's a saying, make work cool again. Okay. That I believe in this. Work should be cool. It's fun. Look, it's fun to make money. It's fun to have happy customers. It's fun to have someone say, we have a review that says, this lemon squeezer saved my marriage. And this lady talks about the story. It's crazy. And I'm like, this fun, dude. It's fun. So stop being upset about work and be happy about work. So when that's a bigger mission, I'm not just trying to retire. I think retiring is death. When you retire and you do nothing, you are on the way to death. Do not do that, right? So if you believe in that, maybe selling is not your deal and you can continue to take risks. So it's really a lifestyle thing for you. That's the truth. And can you still start right now from zero? I mean, that's like saying, is success possible? It's the same question. Can you be successful? And you have to answer that in anything. Is it too late to open a restaurant today? Is it too late to open a gym? Is it too late to start a software company? Is it too late? I don't know, to get married. I don't know. My dad just got married. He's trying again, right? After he's, in his 60s. And he's like, let me go for it again. If you believe, even if you've had failures in the past, you can do it again. Then you can go forward and look for success. So Amazon has higher rewards than it used to. Yes, there's maybe more sellers, but you know what? There's, statistically speaking, there's more revenue per seller than probably any time in the history. There's more revenue. The revenue is growing faster than the sellers are growing. What does that mean? Your chances statistically are actually higher right now than they were 1 year ago and higher than 1 year before that. Is it hard? Sure. Is it hard to start a brand and sell Walmart? Sure. Is it hard to, get fit? Sure. No matter what, no matter where you are in any point of your life, you could start an Amazon brand. You can start a restaurant. You could start a gym. You could start a hair salon. You could start a daycare business. You can start a freaking supplement business. Whatever you want, you can do it. Why? Because you have the resource that is more valuable than anything. Yourself, your dedication, your personality, your point of view, the things that you've learned, you have that, and nobody else has that. So if you find those things and you bring that to the market, you can succeed not just in Amazon, but in absolutely anything.
Amazing.
I agree completely with that.
I think that's a bunch of sellers
great points
right after.
We get some increase in sellers right now, or in entrepreneurs as well. So yeah, it's definitely will help a lot of people who maybe are between decisions and don't know what to do, or you just sold a dream. I mean, not only a dream, because we can confirm this is not a dream. This is real life. You just have to be behind it every day. You have to eat, sleep, live, love, Amazon and everything what has to do with it, and you can make it as well. So
I was talking to another seller, and the way that we look at the Amazon is like he was telling, Amazon is the God, is our God. So we pray for it. It's like, if Amazon suspends you, no problem. It's the God. It comes from the God, right? So you need to work on it. So I mean, it's like a crazy environment here, almost like a religious thing, the world of Amazon, but it's so fascinating. I mean, thank you very much, Aaron. So many great advices, so many great perspectives on the aggregators, as well as what the brand should do. Any final words?
Yeah, so let me touch on the thing you said, like about the Amazon God, the thing, and I want to just talk about religion for a second. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, if you believe in God, beautiful, fantastic. But here's the thing: that belief, it can help you or it can harm you. A lot of people say, "Look, I don't believe in God anymore," and they go away from that. Guess what? They were maybe thinking, "Hey, God is punishing me." If you believe God is punishing you, guess what? It probably is. Okay. If you believe God has given me an opportunity, God has given me life. If you believe something and it's helpful, you take the opportunity and make so it helps your life. Okay. Because if you say it's just the way you frame it. You don't say, I have to work today, right? You say, I get to work today. I've been blessed because
I am allowed to work today.
I'm alive and I have that ability. And if you use your belief to bring you forward in your life, that belief is empowering. If you use your belief to bring you back, doesn't matter how or what you believe, but make your belief be helpful to your life today. Because you know what? That's empowerment, right? I've been blessed with this opportunity. I have everything I need to be successful right now today. And if you go with that, if you go with going forward, that shit's gonna help you. If you say, hey, I'm unlucky, whatever, God has punished me, or you know what, there is no God. There can't be a God because I'm suffering. Well, what about if that suffering was given to you to see that when you go through it, you have now a major success and you know what it takes and you can push through the barriers, and that was there for you to learn from it. And if you're not learning from it, well, then maybe you're not blessed. Maybe what you're saying is true, unfortunately. So don't do that shit. Anyway, that's all. So that's my final words, just to touch on what you said. You know, that's
no, you're completely right. Belief is 100%. It's the most important. For me, it's the most important thing in the whole game, because you have to believe in order to succeed. So really, best words ever.
So thank you. Thank you very much,
Aaron.
Thank you for being in our show. So great.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you.
Great conversation. Thank you.